Okay, is it me or is there a double standard in the media when it comes to your rich billionaire villains? The Koch brothers, they are the embodiment of evil, right? And the media will always mention how they are involving themselves in everything nefarious and everything bad. Yet did you know there was a shareholder activist, and continues to be, at Boeing, that wanted to point out that the company was giving money to the Clinton Foundation and helping out Hillary Clinton, and it just didn't look very good. Not much media play, not much media coverage of that. Why is that? To the guy who's creating the fuss, David Almasi, he is a Boeing activist, he's a shareholder, and he was raising these questions with no less than the CEO of Boeing. David, very good to have you. What you were saying here is that the company had, over the years, given, not only the Clinton Initiative, the Clinton Foundation, it kicked in some bucks for the American Pavilion at the Chinese World Fair, but that there might have been a quid pro quo. Now, the CEO said otherwise, but where does this stand? You just want to know what was going on, right?
Exactly. As a personal shareholder and with our institution, the National Center for Public Policy Research, that we've been asking CEOs to own up to some of these things. In this particular thing, we're worried that Boeing has committed potentially committed honest services fraud because they gave a donation to a foundation that's run by the spouse of a public official, in this case Hillary Clinton, the Secretary of State, at right about the same time as she was helping Boeing get a contract of almost $4 billion with the Russian state airline Rosovia. And there's nothing wrong.
Careful on that. Now, as a selfish shareholder, not that I own Boeing here, but as a shareholder, I could say, well, touche, this helped Boeing, it helped me, my stock went up. The others in that room might have said, David, be quiet. What do you say?
Well, see, that's the problem. And as a shareholder, you need to be concerned about this because honest services fraud is a very vague law. And in fact, the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals here in D.C., they've called it subtle, which means basically you don't know where the line is. And
but if it benefits Boeing, I know I'm sounding awful here, but if it benefits Boeing and those Boeing shareholders and the ones who are in that room with you, what do you think?
If it benefits Boeing, I mean, we need to realize and we need to think, I mean, beyond being a shareholder, and here I'll put on my hat as with the institution, is where is the bar set? Is this the way business is done in America? What about the little guys? Does everyone have to have pay to play? I mean, we don't have any proof, and there's no smoking gun in this case that there was a quid pro quo, but in the case of honest services fraud, there's been more than enough circumstantial evidence to start an investigation. So I'm worried about that as a shareholder. I should stress here,
I want to be clear that McNerney, the head of Boeing, had said that your allegations went beyond the pale, that there's no such quid pro quo. What do you say?
Well, that's what we were asking, and they did not get to the kernel of the question about why did you go to the Clinton Foundation? They've previously
in that case,
given to the...
Wait, I understand what you're saying, but wasn't part of that for Haiti relief? The Clinton Foundation was handling Haiti relief?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And they've given money to the Red Cross for Haiti relief.
Understood.
But why would you give to a foundation that's run by the spouse of the Secretary of State who's helping you get a plane contract when she's over in Russia? And that it came within months of the contract being settled. That's the problem. That's the things that honest services fraud investigations look for and can basically, at a hair's breadth, figure out, start the investigation. So that's what we're concerned about. And we saw the article in the Washington Post by Rosalind Helderman.
Right.
That was interesting, but she didn't look at the honest services fraud. So we asked that at the board meeting, or the shareholder meeting, and like I said, he dodged the question. He said it was legal, said that it was within the spirit and the letter of the law, but he didn't say exactly why they chose it and how they figured out that it was within the letter and the spirit of the law, because there's a D.C. lobbyist in prison right now for doing a lot less, it would seem, than making a $900,000 gift to the foundation run by the spouse of the Secretary of State.
All right, well, it gets no press. We thought it was at least a viable issue to raise here, even though you hear a lot more about the Koch brothers. But always good having you, my friend. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.